Okay, pretty campsite, I am out of here. Look at the trail. The whole trail is one big stream now. Was some rainstorm last night. Another pretty little waterfall. Oh crap. That's the creek crossing. Let me see if there's an easier way. Maybe upstream. Check it out. Some hail left over from last night. There was a lot more and it was piled up around my tent. It was crazy. Well, that was the sketchiest river crossing yet. I had to go upstream, look for an alternate route. There were multiple streams feeding into this one here. And in the end, I had to get my feet wet anyway, an inch or two of water. So, good morning and welcome to day 22 of my 30-day backpack adventure. More hail from last night. Boy, this little creek is swollen. I don't know if you can see this, but there's this really cool waterfall up there that appears to be running into the mountain. It's coming off the top of the mountain and it runs into the rocks like it's going into nowhere. It's pretty cool. Just another day on the trail. So last night, or I should say yesterday afternoon, it was about 2:30, I got to this beautiful campsite. I thought, score. And I got my tent up ahead of the rain. So I thought, yeah, I'm so on top of my game. And then, oh my God, look at all this hail. I mean, it came down. So I get in my tent, you know, and I'm all like, oh, la-di-da, I'm gonna read maps and just relax, and I'll bring out my warm pieces one by one as I need them, and I'll snack to stay warm. And, you know, then it really started coming down. And then Dave and Heather showed up, and it was coming down so hard they couldn't pitch their tents, so they were sheltering under the trees, under a tarp. I realized that my little level spot in the front was going to become a problem. So I put my pants on over my warm pants, which I'm wearing now. See, I went out, I had to dig trenches all over the place to prevent flooding in the front of my tent. It's still kind of flooded a little bit, and I was kind of kicking myself for like, why am I doing this again? And I got this mud all over everything, like my hands and the shovel. And then the hail started coming down and it was just knocking everything up, like water up back into the tent. So even though it only rained for 3 hours, I got more wet this time than I did the other time. When I got back in there and peeled off my, you know, my rain pants, I laid them out to dry on the side, and they ended up getting soaked because of water like dripping into the tent on the one side, because the one side that wasn't under the trees got pelted by the hail a lot harder, and so more water got into the tent on that side. So my pants are so wet that I couldn't put them on. So my warm pants, which are supposed to be sacred, are now, I'm hiking in them. And you know, my warm socks, which are supposed to be sacred, I stupidly put them on over my wet socks, thinking, oh, they're wool, they'll dry my other socks. No, they just made the wool socks wet. It took about 5 hours of laying in that tent for these pants to finally dry out. I mean, I did finally warm up in there. It's still so pretty here though, despite all the trouble. Anyway, I made it through. The wee hours of the morning were rough. I woke up, you know, crack of dawn, and I was like, I gotta get out of there. I gotta get moving. Pretty much the weather pattern is, it rains from 2 to 6 pretty dang hard, and then the clouds go away, and so I have the morning and midday to get over this pass, which is 3.5 miles from camp. I'm hoping to be up there by 10 if I don't take too many pictures. Look at all this hail. It's just, this is, I mean, and it stopped last night. That's like from 12 hours ago. Oh my God. Look at this creek crossing I have to deal with. Hold on. Wow. That's just feet wet again. Yeah. So I'm gonna have a really long lunch, pull everything out, dry it out. It should only take an hour or more. It's okay if it takes more. And on top of all that, that's gonna take extra time. I've gotta get 12 miles in today because the last 2 days have been a little bit light. Because I'm trying to get to Muir Ranch and I'm trying to stay on schedule for finishing at Mammoth on time, so 12-mile day. Okay, better stop talking, better start walking. Time for a quick breakfast. Oh my gosh, look at all that water. I hope I don't have to cross any more of it. My feet are so wet, but it's so pretty. And look at the hail. And there's my shadow. Look at this. Trail goes up to the left. More hail from last night. Check out this marmot. He's super brave. He's not even moving. He's a big guy, and there's one in the background. I don't know if you can see it. Hey dude! You're so cute! Let's get a close up. Adorable. Oh, there he goes. Too much. Oh my gosh. That last crossing, it doesn't look like anything, but just below the calm is all kinds of storm with rocks. I mean, you had to like scramble and climb and get your feet wet, and then the trail was lost. I couldn't find it because it was underwater. So yeah, a lot of challenges this morning. I didn't film it because sometimes you just gotta focus. But look at the cute marmot. He's out pooping in the meadow, I think, or eating. Okay, back to work. Looks like I gotta cross that thing next. Check it out, first snow patch. Hopefully the only one. Look at that. Even the poor flowers took a beating in last night's hailstorm. Poor little flowers. I bet they were white and puffy yesterday. But their leaves smell good. I think I'm getting close to the top. This water is nuts. Well, it's not the top. The top is somewhere over there, I guess. Too good to be true. So I came up that notch. This pretty glacial lake. I think it was called Lake Helen or Lake Helena. I have to check. And the pass, I think, is around the corner over there, somewhere in there. Making progress, going up the south side of Muir Pass. This is where all the water of the Kings River comes from. And the trail is a creek. My feet are just wet. They're just gonna be wet until maybe lunchtime when I dry everything out. And the clouds are already rolling in. And it's what? Getting close to 10 o'clock? I hope I have enough sun to dry stuff out. Here's a little pep talk I give myself going up the mountain. I can do it. Oh my God, this is it! Yay! Muir Pass! Look, it's a cute little Muir hut. Here's the hut with people at the hut. And this is the new path. So going down into there, it's pretty desolate. Let's go check out the hut. Big steps. Please close door when leaving. Ooh, wow. So, places to sit. It's really wet in here. So I made it. Selfie with the hut. Yeah, so I think of all the passes, despite the crazy hailstorm, I think John Muir was the most forgiving pass because it had these areas of steepness and then it would be level for a little while with pretty stuff to look at, and sometimes it'd even go down and then it would start up again. So yeah, as long as you don't get stuck in a hailstorm up in the high parts of it, it's pretty cool. I think it's one of my favorite passes so far. So not much time to mill around. Gotta get down and dry out freaking everything before the sun goes away. On we go. There's a marmot. He's eating flowers. Whoops, right here. He's so cute. They're like little mini bears. So John Muir Pass into the Evolution Basin, which is pretty desolate. Gotta get down below the trees before I can really dry stuff out in case of storm. Whoa, I just heard a rock fall way up there. Saw some big ones tumbling down. Just like that. Now it's over. Hello. Good, thanks. How are you guys? Good. So I just stopped for a 45-minute lunch here at the base of Wanda Lake. I'm still in this sort of desolate basin of lakes, rocks, no trees. Anyway, I meant to film it, but you know, I only had a bit of time, a window where the sun would be out, because I knew the clouds would come in and then my stuff wouldn't dry out. So I just hustled, laid everything out, the tent, the sleeping bag, you know, the clothes that got wet, just everything that was damp, and it was awesome. The sun dried it probably within a half hour. And then I was gonna cook a lunch, but it just didn't seem like I had time to do that. So I went with my granola and milk. Spilled a little bit of it, but didn't cry. Anyway, and so while I was there, this guy came up, this Asian guy, and the way he was walking up the trail, he was just walking up super easy, like it's no big deal. And he had just a really light backpack, and you know, and he looked familiar. So I asked him, I said, "Are you hiking the PCT?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Is your name Squish?" And he said, "Yeah." So it turns out Squish is kind of the, was the trail mate, sidekick, whatever you want to call him, bud of this girl, Sarah. I think her last name is Dumas, who I watch on YouTube. She has a YouTube channel about her travels. Her channel name is Carmen San Diego, I believe. And she does these quick little daily videos about every day she's done on the PCT. And Squish is always in there. He's like, you know, he's like the comic relief. Anyway, so that was cool that I recognized him, and I thought I might see them because knowing their schedule. Anyway, so I asked about Sarah, and she was up the trail, and he was like, you know, she's supposed to be ahead of me. And I'm like, oh, maybe I just didn't notice her when she passed by. But then after he left, I thought about it, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, maybe she was that girl I was talking to who was asking about, you know, there was a girl who was asking about if I was camping there, and I said, no, I'm just drying out, and she was wondering if it was about the weather, is it good to go over the pass now? And I said, well, yeah, if you book it, you should be fine. And she was asking about campsites on the other side, and I told her about our campsite, and I told her, you know, really cool, pretty, next to the waterfall, but don't camp in the one with the trenches. That one failed. Anyway, so maybe that was her. So if that was you, Sarah, hi, from a fan. Anyway, okay, now I've got a crossing. Here, let's see what's going on here. I've got a little crossing. This is no big deal. And look at those skies. I mean, they have just clouded over. So I need to put the camera away and hustle down the mountain so I don't get struck by lightning. That's looking a little ominous in there. Here in Thunder, Genesis of Evolution Creek. Uh-oh, rain. So there's lightning all around me, which freaked me out. So I took cover under the rock. Basically on a hillside, I'm huddled up under this rock, but it's kind of dripping all over the place. My pants are wet. I whipped out the space blanket, the emergency space blanket to stay warm and help stay dry. And there's hail, of course. Let me turn it around. So it's calmed down now a little bit, but you can see all the little pieces of hail. Oh, here it comes again. So at least my underwear is getting cleaned. Yeah, not comfortable. I'm just gonna sit under this rock and wait it out because I don't want to get struck by lightning. the guys on the island.